talk to you about what we're going to do here. This is my rip fence on my sliding table saw, and when you change your work technique when you have a sliding table saw from a cabinet saw, and you kind of have to relearn it. But you end up not really using the rip fence very much because you clamp something to the slider and then cut it with this movement of the slider. So this traditional rip fence ends up being basically a stop, a bump stop, to set a distance from on a dado or a cut. You would draw this back, so it just acts as a stop, and you don't have any chance of pinching the work. As you know, normally with a rip fence, you have it set so it's not quite parallel to the blade, so it falls away from the blade a few thousandths of an inch, so you don't run the risk of the workpiece catching on the back side of the blade and getting kickback, which of course can be very dangerous. However, since with this rip fence, in this configuration, I wanted it to be perfectly parallel. So I set up, with some measuring devices, I set up and adjusted the rip fence so it is dead parallel. So what we're going to do is take a digital readout device, this guy, and mount it here. Looking at a number of different options, rather than pull this analog fence out, I'm going to leave that in. This magnetic strip fits almost exactly in that channel, and it's slightly less thick than the depth, so there will be room to put the very thin metal strip, the wear strip, on top of it. That of course creates a need to make a completely different bracket. What we're going to do is take a piece of copper, and there's a small lip right in here. I bent, this is just some scrap copper I had laid around, and so I bent it so it'll fit right in. Let's see if we can zoom in on this. So in this aluminum casting, there is a small lip right here, and the fence base is two-part. There's a dovetail, metal dovetail here. So what we're going to do is put the little copper L bracket in there. We will drill and tap into the casting, and I've trimmed it off to approximate length. Fits up against that bottom edge of the aluminum. So what we'll do is machine that so it's back slightly, and then we will take the reed unit and attach it like this, and then we will take these elongated holes, these little U-holes, and we'll make some elongated holes in the bracket, and we can trim it down so it just gives a little bit of clearance there, and then this will basically slide in and out, because the reed head needs to be no more than 1 millimeter, which is 38 thousandths of an inch, away from the magnetic reed strip. That will be a pretty simple bracket, and so that's what we're going to do. The reed head, or the reed sensor, will ride just above that. So the first thing we're going to do is drill and tap into the housing. I'm going to mark a spot so we know exactly where the holes are supposed to be. both of those guys marked, and so now it's centered in the hole. So now the more difficult process of drilling straight, so the tap holes won't be in at an angle. Kind of done the trial fit, and got some revisions to make here. And then this is the reed unit, and it will go here with the holes and in the bracket. Carefully thread them in to where we've tapped threads, and see if we've got the length just right. So it's interesting. And number 6 just barely fits in that, which is good. Probably could have gotten a metric, which is, I'm sure this is made for metric. So if you have a dado blade in here, same thing, you just set it, and then once this is locked down, there's a micro adjust here, and you can turn this wheel and it changes by increments ever so slowly, and it's very precise. Without the digital, there's always some backlash in this, so you're never sure exactly what you've done. So the only thing I need to do is this cable goes through the opening in the cast, and I'm afraid that over time it will wear. Get something like this, just a little bit smaller, so it'll hold that and fit down in there. Took a little bit of fussing and lots of trial and error, but gives me more respect for people that can engineer this from the ground up without trial and error. So anyway, that's the end of our digital retrofit on a felder rip fence, and the same principles can be used for any rip fence.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel, and smash that notification bell so you'll always be notified when new content gets released. The Noble Artisan, handcrafted woodwork, heirloom quality.